I wanted to thank everyone who's been looking at my YouTube videos on the Canon S90, and definitely appreciate all the comments people have been posting. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them along. I'll be more than happy to answer you. A lot of people have asked me about the video quality off the Canon, and I wanted to show that. Actually, this entire video is being shot through the Canon S90 camera. And basically, long story short, if you're looking for a compact camera which does video really well, the Canon S90 might not be the first choice that I'd recommend. There are other cameras out there which have, let's say, video HD quality capability, for instance, or just might integrate the video quality, video capability better than this camera does. You might want to look at for more of the high-end line, probably the Panasonic LX3. I've heard that can do HD quality video, and it's also a really good camera all around. It's just bigger than the Canon S90, or I think even Canon's ELPH line, some of the consumer-oriented cameras on the compact side, they actually might integrate video better, but I haven't tested those out, so I can't tell you for sure. In terms of the Canon S90, the video that you get is recorded at it's 640 by 480, which is actually VGA size, and it's shot at 30 frames per second. So the thing is, it's actually not HD quality. What it's good for, maybe something like YouTube, and I think when you watch this, you might have a good idea for yourself if that's the case or not. Now, the other thing too is, as you can probably hear, there's only a really small, tiny inbuilt microphone that's on the camera itself, so you have no attachment to hook up like a condenser mic, for instance, and get better sound quality. So sound, that might be give or take, it might not be that great either. In all those things combined make it not really ideal for video capability. But there's some other things too about the Canon S90 which you might want to steer away from if that's what you're looking for. So basically, there are three main video modes, and the three ones are standard, which is just regular normal shooting. Like actually right now that's what it's on. There's also let's see here, color accent. I've written everything down because I can't look at the camera anymore. A color accent, which lets you pick one color and isolate it, and then have everything else shot in black and white. So you can, I guess, pick, like, for instance, like a red, and have red be the only color if it's in the frame, and everything else will be black and white. And there's another thing too called color swap, where you can actually change out the hue of a particular color that you select. And I haven't really played too much around with those features. I've tried them out. Not really impressive. In my mind, if you want to do something like that, you're probably going to want to do that in post-processing. So you want to export the digital file and use a program like After Effects or like, I don't know, maybe Motion or something on the Apple side that does the same kind of thing. Now, a couple other things too. I want to talk about actually recording a video and some of the controls and all that stuff. The big thing about it, by the way, is that once you start recording, you can't adjust basically any control, with the exception of one thing. You can zoom in and zoom out. However, and this is like a big but, you can't zoom in and zoom out optically. It's only digital, and the quality is really terrible if you know anything about digital zooming. So basically, the controls that you have at your disposal before you click the shutter button and start the video, on the back of the camera, the different controls are actually picking the different kind of focusing, so macro focusing or landscape focusing. You can also change the exposure compensation. So you click a button, get in that menu, and then you can use the jog dial on the back to brighten or darken the scene depending upon the actual conditions of lighting that you're in. If you click the function set button, that brings up that menu system I've showed you before in other videos. There are only three things you can adjust there. One is the frame, like the actual video quality itself. Again, standard 640 by 480, and you can actually lower that down to, I think it's 320 by 240, which will give you longer recording time, but lower quality. And by the way, at 640 by 480 with the standard mode, about a 1 gig card, SD card, 1 gigabyte, nothing else on it, will have about 12 minutes worth of video. So it does hog up a lot of space on your card too. Now, the other options in that function set menu, like I told you about before, you have the ability to change preset color options. So you have things like vivid color, or vivid green, vivid red, or stuff like that. No real full control over it, but it's more like if you want to, pop colors or pop certain colors, you can set that stuff in that menu. And then finally, the other thing that you can do is you can actually set your white balance. So for instance, right now I'm shooting inside of my room, and I'm using those energy saving bulbs, so they have like a fluorescent hue to them. So I've set the white balance to fluorescent to make sure that the video has a little more natural lighting instead of like the stark office kind of lighting. So that's basically it in terms of the camera functionality and features. And excuse me for using my crib notes here. Besides that, actually, now that I look through it, I've pretty much said everything else there is. So again, you don't really have much options in terms of recording the sound quality, setting the actual, different settings and all that stuff you have to do before you actually press the record button, and you're kind of limited to that. The ring dial on the front, the control ring on the front of the camera, that now it changes the zoom, the optical zoom. And again, you can only do that before you record. So you can go from 28 millimeters all the way up to 105 millimeters in stepped increments. However, once you set that, then you're locked in there. And again, if you do want to zoom in and zoom out, it's all digital. So you have really crummy results because it's just basically cropping into the picture itself. And having said that now, like in terms of like the playback on the camera, you can preview all this stuff after you've recorded video. And another thing too is actually you have some minor editing capabilities, so you can actually edit clips, either cutting the beginning of the clip or cutting the end of the clip, and you can change the timeline for doing that stuff. But I don't know how much other ability you have in order to merge clips together. And again, these are post-processing things, so if you're planning on doing this stuff, you probably would rather do that in like a Final Cut Pro or in like an After Effects or something like that. So again, it's probably you wouldn't use anyways. Now, having said all that stuff, I still went with a Canon just because it has a smaller form factor. I'm not that interested in video personally. And I didn't really need a camera to record video, so that's kind of why I ruled that stuff out. Personally, I think that what you'd want to go with, if you really need it in the same body, then yeah, like a Panasonic LX3 or something like that. However, personally, I think that I'm interested actually in getting one of those flip small HD quality camcorders you can fit in your pocket, and I think that'll be fine for me. Something I can put in my bag, or if I really want to get video. And I believe that records in full HD, so you'd have much better quality, and it seems more dedicated to the video itself. So that's my recommendation if that's the route you want to go in. However, you probably have a good enough idea watching this video if this is for you or not. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope to keep posting more reviews, so send questions in if you have them. Thanks, bye.